Ever had one of those days where you're staring at a screen, just willing it to load faster, and you wonder, why is my friend's internet so much better than mine? Well, it's not magic, it's all about the tech running behind the scenes. So let's dive in and demystify the different kinds of broadband that power our lives here in the UK.
Oh yeah, you know this feeling. That little progress bar just sitting there, mocking you. It's that moment of pure digital frustration, and honestly, it's something we've all felt. But the good news is, it really doesn't have to be this way.
So what's the deal? Why the huge difference? Well, it all comes down to the journey the internet takes to get to your house. And believe me, that journey has evolved a ton, from relying on ancient copper phone lines to literally using the speed of light.
Right. To understand where we're going, we've got to know where we came from. So let's hop in the time machine and go back to the dawn of broadband when that humble copper phone line was pretty much the only game in town.
Okay, say hello to ADSL, the granddaddy of all broadband. Now, its big selling point was that it used the phone lines that were already wired into every single house. Super convenient, right? But, and this is a big but, it had a major drawback. It was slow. Like, set a movie to download and go make a sandwich and maybe dinner is slow. And here was the big catch. Think of it like shouting to a friend. If they're right beside you, they hear you perfectly. But if they're way over on the other side of a field, your voice gets pretty faint, right? It's the exact same thing with an ADSL signal. The further that data had to travel down that old copper wire, the weaker and slower it got.
On a really good day, you were maybe getting around 11 megabits per second. Now back then, that probably felt pretty zippy. But as you're about to see, in today's world, that's just a tiny drop in the ocean.
Okay, so we're leaving that old winding country road behind. We are now merging onto the Broadband motorway, a massive, multi-lane superhighway built for way more traffic, all moving at incredible speeds. Let's see how it works. Now, this is what most of us in the UK think of when we hear fibre broadband. It's called part fibre, or FTTC, and the key word there is part. It's a hybrid system, and it's a huge leap forward from old-school ADSL. This is what finally let us stream HD movies without that dreaded buffering wheel.
So here's how it works, and this is the really important bit. A super fast fibre optic cable does all the heavy lifting, bringing the internet at lightning speed to that green cabinet on your street. But then it hits a snag. For that final little stretch, from the cabinet into your actual home, it switches back to the old, slow copper phone line. And that last bit of copper, that's the bottleneck that holds it back.
So, what's the dream? What's the absolute best of the best? Well, that would be full fiber. This is the pure, uncut, gold standard of internet. No copper, no compromises, and absolutely no bottlenecks. Just pure, glorious speed.
And the beauty of full fiber is just how simple it is. It's one direct, seamless connection. That fiber optic cable runs all the way from the exchange, down your street, and plugs right into your house. It's a pure, uninterrupted river of data that is just breathtakingly fast. And this is where it gets really cool. This is the magic behind that incredible speed. You see, fiber optic cables don't use electricity like copper wires do. They use tiny pulses of light. They are literally sending information using the fastest thing in the entire universe. I mean, it's basically science fiction, but it's real and it's in our homes. Now, you've probably heard of cable broadband too, which is what Virgin Media uses. It's a similar idea to part fiber, but for that final leg of the journey, it uses a high-speed coaxial cable. You know, the same kind of thick wire that used to bring you cable TV. It's way more robust than a flimsy old phone line, which means it can deliver incredible speeds that are right up there with full fiber. But hang on, what if you live somewhere a physical line just can't get to? Or what if you need a solid connection when you're out and about? Well, that's where the whole world of wireless broadband comes into play. You've basically got two main choices here. There's mobile broadband, which uses the 4G and 5G networks. It's awesome for being on the move, but it can be a bit less reliable than a fixed line. And then you've got satellite broadband. This is literally beamed down from space, and it can be an absolute lifesaver if you live in a really remote area, though it can sometimes be a bit pricier.
Okay, we've talked about all the tech, but what does it all actually mean for you? You know, in your day-to-day life. It's time to cut through all the marketing hype and decode the jargon so you can figure out what kind of speed you really need.
Right, you've definitely seen these words thrown around. Super fast basically means anything over 30 megabits per second. That's a good baseline. Ultra fast is where things start getting seriously quick, at 100 Mbps and up. And then you have gigabit. That's the top tier. the absolute fastest with mind-blowing speeds of around 1,000 Mbps.
And this is where it all clicks. Just look at these numbers from Uswitch. Downloading a TV show on that old ADSL takes almost 11 minutes. On a gigabit connection, 7 seconds. An HD movie goes from nearly an hour of waiting down to just 38 seconds. I mean, the difference is just staggering.
But here it is. This is the real jaw-dropper. A big 100 gigabyte video game. On ADSL, you're waiting for almost a full day. With gigabyte full fiber, you are in the game in 14 minutes. Just think about that. That's the difference between an entire day of frustration and an afternoon of fun.
Let me put that another way for you. The best broadband you can get today is nearly 100 times faster than what a lot of us started with. That's not just an upgrade, that's like going from a horse and cart to a spaceship.
And listen to this. This is a really crucial piece of advice from the experts at Uswitch. It turns out this isn't just about speed. It's about your wallet. You could be stuck on a slow, old connection and actually be paying more than someone signing up for a brand new lightning-fast deal today. It absolutely pays to check.
So really, the big takeaway here is this. Knowledge is power. The single most important thing you can do is find out what's actually available at your address. You might be completely shocked to find out there's a much faster, more reliable connection ready and waiting for you. And it might not even cost as much as you think.
You know, as our lives get more and more digital, our internet connection is only going to become more important. So the last question I'll leave you with is this. Now that you know the difference between crawling and flying, is your current internet connection holding you back?